The Fantastic Four are finally back on the big screen, and they're better than ever. Well, sort of. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing Fantastic Four First Steps, Marvel's long-awaited introduction to their first family into the MCU. Or at least an alternate version of it. There's a lot to talk about here. Retro-futurism, parenthood, space babies, and, in my opinion, one major miscast. So, let's get into it. Fantastic Four First Steps is the kickoff to Marvel's Phase Six, and it's already being called a course correction for the MCU. It's set in an alternate timeline, Earth 828. It introduces us to a Fantastic Four that's already well established. There's no long origin recap here. Instead, we learn about them through a clever news report montage. It's fresh, it's effective, and it had me hooked from the jump, similar to what we saw in Superman. Reed and Sue are married and finally expecting a child when the Silver Surfer shows up, heralding the arrival of Galactus. The catch, however, is that he's willing to trade Earth for their unborn son, Franklin. It's a wild cosmic setup that it mixes superhero spectacle with personal stakes. Visually, the movie is stunning. Huge kudos to the production design. The retro-futuristic vibe, hover cars, Jetsons-style tech, 60s inspired interiors. It's all a love letter to Jack Kirby's classic artwork. The city feels alive, and it finally gives the MCU a distinct visual language again. And look, we need to talk about Michael Giacchino's score because it absolutely rips. It's emotional, it's heroic, and it's a kind of thematic music the MCU has desperately lacked for years. This theme just hits. What really impressed me is how standalone this movie feels. You don't need to have seen a dozen Disney Plus shows or connect dots to other franchises. It tells its own story with its own tone, balance, grounded, and surprisingly, it's light on quips. The emotional heart of the story comes through in the family dynamic, especially Sue and Reed grappling with impending parenthood while facing the literal end of their world. The tone leans into both cosmic horror and heartfelt drama, and while some transitions feel a little rushed, it still mostly works. Let's break down the team. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm is the MVP. She brings emotional weight, quiet strength, and delivers the most powerful scene in the movie. Going into labor during a battle in space. She's commanding and sincere in every single frame. Ebon Moss-Bachrach's Ben Grimm is solid, but underused. They touch on his emotional trauma, but they don't fully commit to it. His hinted romance with Natasha Lyonne's character falls flat in my opinion. Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm isn't the cocky playboy we're used to, and that's okay. I like that. Instead, he's a curious adventurer with a surprising knack for languages. It's a refreshing take. And then there's Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Look, I love Pedro, but he's deeply miscast here. His take on Reed is overly anxious and unsure. Where's the arrogant genius? Even his stretching powers feel limited and visually unconvincing. I don't know if John Krasinski should have kept playing the role with this particular cast, but it definitely should not have been Pedro Pascal. As for supporting cast, Julia Garner's Silver Surfer looks incredible and has a pretty cool backstory, but she disappears for chunks of the movie. Ralph Ineson's Galactus is menacing in space, but in my opinion, he loses presence once he steps foot on Earth. He's just kind of just this tall guy at that point. The central themes of family and parenthood hit hard. Sue delivers a killer line. I'm not sacrificing my son for this planet, but I won't sacrifice this planet for my son. That tension, personal versus global stakes, is where this movie shines. Still, like most MCU films, it struggles to make the danger feel truly dire. You never really believe the Fantastic Four are in danger. A bolder ending, like, I don't know, sacrificing Earth or being flung into the main timeline, that might have made this more memorable. Is this the best Fantastic Four movie we've had? Yeah, but look, let's be honest, that's a low bar. It clears it with style, heart, and some incredible visual world building. It also succeeds at soft resetting the franchise without relying on cameos and crossovers. That said, the mid-credit scene teasing Doctor Doom feels tacked on, and I really wish they had skipped it entirely. Still, there's clearly more coming, and maybe, well, I don't know. Maybe this timeline is where Marvel resets the entire cinematic universe in the future. So did it stick the landing? Yeah, mostly. It's not perfect, but it's easily one of the best post-Endgame MCU entries. The emotional core works, the design pops, and Sue Storm is a genuine standout. The biggest strength in this movie is Vanessa Kirby. The biggest issue and weakness? Well, it's Pedro Pascal. He's highly miscast as Reed Richards. I definitely recommend you go check it out. Maybe not IMAX, but if you're a Marvel fan, a sci-fi nerd, or just want to have a fun, emotional blockbuster, this is definitely worth your time. I'm giving Fantastic Four First Steps a 7.5 out of 10. But look, if you saw Fantastic Four First Steps, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree about my feelings towards Pedro playing Reed? Did the Silver Surfer work for you? Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you want more movie reviews like this. Every Sunday, we do a podcast, and we have trailer reactions and much more. We'll see you guys on the next one. Also, for a movie that has first steps in the title, they really dropped the ball by not showing Franklin taking his first baby steps. Just saying.